You're welcome to today's broadcast. Sure Destiny TV, reaching people and touching lives.
Hello, Nigerians. What another wonderful, wonderful day. I want to appreciate those of you that have been following my broadcast, and thank you very much for subscribing. And if you've not already subscribed to my channel, please do that now, because I'll be bringing a lot of content to you during this season of change as we battle to take back our nation from these evil, wicked political cabals that have truncated the progress of this nation, that have kept this nation backward, have kept the nation in poverty and insecurity. I mean, every kind of evil, you name it, this nation, Nigeria, has been through. And that's why we need to take back our nation. I'm Haruna Bako Goro, and I come from Kaduna State. I did my first degree in Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, and my vice chancellor then was Professor Ango Abdullahi, the current leader of the Northern Elders Forum. Great man. Really respect you, sir. He's one of the few people that make us Northerners proud. He's a person that is objective, very open-minded. He's not a person that is all hung up with this thing about you must be Hausa Fulani, you must be Muslim. He is open to all. And we need people like Professor Ango Abdullahi. And I can tell you, this nation would not have been where it is right now. Having a flashback and you ask yourself, things were not like this before. The politics was different. The way we lived among ourselves was different. Coming from Kaduna State, being in Zaria, those that come from Southern Kaduna, those that are from other parts of Kaduna State, we all lived together as brothers and as sisters. But today, the story is completely different. We live like enemies. We hate each other. We don't want to see each other. Everybody is just concerned about himself or herself. And that's why we cannot afford to continue business as usual. We have to cry out for change. We've got to demand change, and the change is possible, but you and I have a part to play. So today I have quite a lot of things I'm going to be sharing with you, and one of them has to do with bringing an end to the political power brokers of Nigeria. And I believe we can do that, and we can do that now. It's enough of the evil, it's enough of the bloodshed, it's enough of the poverty, it's enough of the insecurity, and everything that we have seen unleashed upon this nation. If there's ever been a time that we need to rise together as one voice, as one people, in one nation, and take our nation back from these few wicked politicians, that time is not later, it is now. When you look, all these years, we've been controlled, we've been dominated by just a few people. Being a Northerner, I can tell you our brothers from the North have played a major role in bringing Nigeria to where it is right now. And I believe going forward, we as Northerners also have a part to play in the change that we so desire to see happen in Nigeria. Do you know what the politicians used to tell us? Is that we must not allow the Southerners to rule over us. Because if we allow them, they will take over everything. Oil is down south, and many of those minerals are down south. So we must hold on to power. And it goes so bad that you even find out, even in the north, there's still division along tribal lines, and especially along religious lines. You will hear a Muslim cleric saying it is haram to vote or to allow somebody that is a non-Muslim to govern you or to rule where you live. And haram basically means it's an abomination. That means they are infidels. People that are non-Muslims are seen as infidels. But you know, it didn't used to be so. But now there's so much division, and now people, either we are divided along religious lines or tribal lines or sectional lines, and that's why the nation is in disarray. And do you know what? These political power brokers have taken advantage of these diversities or these differences to control us, to subdue us, and to rule over us with tyranny. And the time is now that we must overthrow these power brokers. A few people cannot mortgage our future and the destiny of our children, telling us, don't vote a Southerner, because you're a northerner? Do you know, a few days ago, I watched the video of Magdi Shehu, where he was speaking to northern Christians. And do you know what? I mean, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. He was telling northern Christians not to vote anybody from the south. And this is the same card they have been playing. They divide the Muslims from the Christians, but then they have a sinister, they have a hidden agenda. It's not that he really, Magdi Shehu really cared about the Christians. If he cared about the Christians, just as Aisha Yusuf was saying, that if he really cared, where was he when Deborah was burnt to death by people that claim they are fighting for Allah or fighting for God? Suddenly now, Magdi Shehu is trying to show as if he has a concern for northern Christians, telling them that everybody in the south sees us all in the north as northerners, whether you are Christian or Muslim, and they will never give you land. If they are going to kill, they will kill everybody.
Christians of northern extraction, think wisely, act wisely, behave wisely. You have no business voting a southern candidate based on Christianity. At the end of the day, his agenda is not you. His agenda is his own tribe. If you pick Obi, his agenda is not Christianity. He could be a fantastic Catholic. If you vote Obi, you are voting for Biafra.
They're northern Christians. I want you to ask Magdi Shehu, where was he when Deborah was killed? Did he stand for Deborah? Was he there for her family? Who killed Deborah? I want you to ask Magdi Shehu, where has he been all this while that you have faced all sorts of discrimination? Where has he been when your life was threatened? When you've had to run for your life sometimes? Where has he been when it was time for appointments and when it was time for you to be made part of the nation? Today he comes out to tell you that you should not vote for Peter Obi because according to him it will not get you anything. What have you gotten from all the time that you voted for whoever it was from the north? Why did we get to a place where we had a Muslim ticket in Nigeria with all of the things that have been happening, with the need for a balance and the need for equity? What happened? Because there was no value placed on you as a northern Christian. That was why. Simple as ABCD and nothing else. We must call a spade and not a garden implement. And the truth must be said, no matter how bitter it is and no matter how angry some people will be. They didn't see you as anything. You didn't matter.
This is the narrative. This is the falsehood they have been pumping to us in the north. And they don't want us to do anything with those people that are from the south. Especially, they hate the idea of our getting close to the people from the southeast. That is the Igbos. Because each time they just try to remind us about the Civil War. But you notice that Igbo people, just because they were fighting that time for Biafra, does not mean every Igbo person now is still thinking Biafra. Ask yourself, what brought it about? It is because they were marginalized. They were not included in governance and in the affairs of things in the nation. And so if we claim we're in one nation, why should we annihilate a whole tribe or a whole section of the nation? And that's why there have been all these agitations. And the agitations are not only in the southeast, we have agitation in the southwest and even some other part. And if care is not taken, Nigeria will be so fragmented that even in different local governments, there will be agitations. And that's why we need to unite as one people and take our nation back. We must not allow these political power brokers to continue. This is the time we must seize power from them because they do not represent our interest. Whether they are from the north, south, east, or west of Nigeria, being a northerner, something else that I have noticed that has been used is that they have used the Almajiri system, keeping our young boys poor. They're going to the Islamic school, but see their living condition. It's been found out that most of the ones that are being used now as bandits or are being recruited into Boko Haram and all these terrorists that we see, most of them come from Almajiri schools because they leave them. Parents who just send their children to a Quranic school, many of them maybe 300 being schooled by one Islamic scholar. And he has to look after all these 300 under his care, feed them, clothe them, and give them shelter. And so because there are so many and they are unable to take care of them, what happens? They grow up and they get into crime. And so when there is a religious riot or one politician can't find his way, and he's so weak, he can't face up just because they lose election or people don't want to elect them. Instead of waiting until the people are ready to choose them, you know what they do? They mobilize these almajiris. They use them to go out and cause chaos, and they burn places, and the whole purpose is to bring fear. As a result of the fear in the nation, people will now be forced to submit to their agenda. You remember the unrest in 2011 when President Buhari didn't make it as a president. You know there was an unrest. Shortly after it, when he lost the election, what happened? Everywhere was in flames. So this is the system they've been using to subdue people in the nation. And so if we don't rise up now and be smart and know that these people are not doing what they are doing for our own good, it is for their own personal gain, their own personal interest. The core northern politician will tell everybody in the north, and when I say in the north, that's from Kwara State, Benue State, Niger State, coming up to Plateau, Kaduna, and then you already know the core north, Sokoto, and some of those other places, Maiduguri and the rest. So what do? They tell everybody that is from the north, that's from the Niger up, we are all northerners. We must stand to fight for our zone, that is the northern zone, and not allow southerners. But behind this, they are not thinking about somebody from Kwara State, they're not thinking about somebody from Benue, they're not thinking about somebody from Plateau State. All they're thinking about is just a few of these people that have been in control. They use the north-south issue to control us. Nepotism has taken over the polity of the nation. Just see how the appointments have been since this regime came into power, where people appoint people to positions not on merit, not on the basis of knowledge or competence, but on the basis of whether you are from my tribe, whether you are from my village, whether we went to the same school together. And so we have a lot of people that have no idea of what they are supposed to do, what is expected of them. It's important for you and I to ask ourselves, what do we really want to see? What kind of nation do we want to have? What kind of nation do we want to live in, and then leave it for our children's children? And then somebody is insisting, I want somebody only from my religion. I want somebody only from my region. Let's not be backward in our thinking. Do you know the way some Nigerians are thinking? They are thinking 200 years backward. While the world is moving forward, we are stuck. The mess that we have in the nation is self-inflicted. We are the ones bringing it on ourselves. And it's only going to change if we stop allowing these evil people that do not have any clear vision for the nation to continue governing. When we refuse to allow these political cabals, these political power brokers who have been there holding hostage the entire nation, a few individuals, but the rest of us just follow them like zombies. Wherever they drag us, we go. Wherever they take us to, we go. But we can't continue. In this 21st century, we are still behaving like people from the Stone Age. Nigerians, wake up. My northern brothers and sisters, it is time to wake up. The world has changed. We must not allow these political cabals to control us, to lie to us as they've been doing before. Where we will take back our nation from these political cabals and birth a new nation where our children will love and be proud to call their own nation or call home, where they will live in peace and in harmony, where there's no tribalism, there's no sectionalism, there's no nepotism or classism. Everybody living peacefully, whether you're from the north, south, east, or west. This is the time that we must return to those days of living as brothers and sisters in one nation. We've only been divided because of a few people that have used these differences that God has allowed. You didn't choose to be a northerner. You didn't choose to be a southerner. You didn't choose to be Igbo or Hausa Fulani. You didn't choose to be Yoruba. You didn't choose to be Bibio. You didn't choose to be Koro. You didn't choose to be Jaba. You didn't choose to be Ninzom. Whatever tribe you represent, God placed you there. And so we need to celebrate those differences. It's enough of watching a few people that are selfish mortgage the future and the destiny of our children. I'm looking forward to a day and a time when Nigerians would matter and not just power. That's the day I'm looking forward to seeing, when Nigerians will matter to politicians and not just power, control, and money. I'm looking forward to the day when a Nigerian will be seen, valued, and looked up to on the basis of the content of his character, the kind of person or heart the person has, not on the basis of what part of the nation he comes from. I pray that day will come soon when we will allow people of competence, people of character, people of integrity, people with vision, people with foresight, people with a dream, and we will treat them not on the basis of whether they come from the biggest tribe or they come from one particular religion. Do you know somebody may be in a minority tribe and yet that person has what it takes to move Nigeria forward? So I'm looking forward to a time when we will be looking for leaders based on the content of their character. Wisdom has nothing to do with what part of the nation you come from. We should lay aside all these mundane differences. My tribe, what language I speak, what part of the nation I come from. Let's unite. When people ask you, what tribe are you? Just tell them I'm Nigerian. I'm looking forward to that time when politicians will get into power for the sake of building the nation and helping the people than just going there for self-enrichment. Can you imagine that day come in Nigeria? And this time we can make it happen. Just imagine a nation where there is peace, respect for the rule of law, and where there is prosperity. That is possible. You and I can make it happen. As long as we don't allow these political power brokers to continue to lie to us and keep us under, while a few of them are the ones that are enjoying the prosperity of the nation. I want to ask you, what is the Nigeria of your dream? What kind of Nigeria do you want to see? Is it a nation that is going down or a nation that is rising to take her rightful position in the League of Nations? And you'll be proud to introduce yourself as a Nigerian. That's the kind of nation I want to see. And it's possible for us to birth it, not later, but birth it now. And how do we do it? We have to elect, and we have to choose, and we have to vote wisely. Don't allow people to buy your vote like they've done previously. They did it and left you worse off. All we want is take our nation back from them. PDP has not helped us. APC now, we can see what they've done, worse even. Do you want them to continue and destroy the entire nation? And then you want the return of PDP for them to do what they did in 16 years? That's why we have to vote for change. And people are getting sick and tired. And that's why you see the young people all over. Nobody is paying them to do what they're doing. There's a current movement to take our nation back. And I thank God, I'm so happy to see Peter Obi. Yes, I know he's an Igbo man, and I'm from Kaduna State, but so what? We're not talking about what state. We're talking about the state of our country. We need to change it. And Obi seems to be the only one that's a man of integrity among all the other politicians. And see his running mate, Ahmed Yusuf, similar vision. And they want to take this nation forward. And you and I can make it happen. Let's team up with them. Let's join this movement and make it happen. If we miss it now, we may regret. They mean well for us. And somebody can come and be telling us, I shouldn't vote for him because he comes from the south and I'm from the north. No, we want to see change. And whosoever has it, we're going to vote for him. Somebody is saying, but why are you always talking about Peter Obi? I've not been politically inclined. I've not really been around, be bothering so much about the politics of this nation, because after I supported Buhari in 2015 and he came in 2016, I was very sure that things would change. But I'm telling you, Buhari has disappointed not only me, he has disappointed the entire nation. The nation has never been this divided, has never been this insecure, has never been this impoverished by Buhari's regime on the platform of APC. And I don't want to see a continuation of this evil in Nigeria. I want to see change. And how is the change going to happen? We must join this movement. Obi is a person of integrity. Ahmed Yusuf is also a person of integrity. I'm telling you, you can hear all that they're saying. They want to see change. They're talking about moving Nigeria forward. They're talking about cutting the cost of governance. They're talking about inclusiveness. They're talking about security. They're talking about education. They're talking about all kinds of things that they would do to bring the Nigeria of our dream. And I want to call upon you, join this movement. Join this current train that is moving. And don't let somebody use money on you. Anybody that comes bribing you or buying your vote or buying your commitment, buying your allegiance, just know they are the same thieves. And the money they stole from us, they are giving it back to you so you can vote for them to continue to steal again. But you see Peter Obi, they talk about, we know they give shishi, we know they receive shishi. And that is sisi in Hausa. That means like a dime.
Nobody has been giving shishi. Nobody has been giving 1 naira to be here. We are all here voluntarily. Nobody has been bribed.
Which kind of nation do you want to see? Check among the candidates. Who has what it takes to bring a change? Who is talking to you about bringing a change, not buying you? And those are the kind of people we need. People that have integrity, people that are upright, so that we can have a new Nigeria. I believe it is possible, but you've got this one chance to make it happen. They are not paying me to say what I'm saying. I have just seen the handwriting on the wall, and it is very obvious for us to see the Nigeria of our dream. Let's give Peter Obi a chance. Nigerians, let's unite. Whether you're from the north, south, east, or west, let's join hands. As a northern brother, I'm joining hands with you from the south. All the young people, don't relent. Nobody's paying you to do what you do. You just want your nation back. As a person that is 66 years old, I may not go out and do what you're doing, but I'm telling you, if it means people like us being on the street, going around to mobilize and sensitize the people, let's do it. It's our nation. Even if it's not for us, let's do it for our children. So it doesn't matter your age. Join the movement. Don't let it be just about the youth. Go out and encourage people. Mobilize your relatives. Mobilize your friends and tell them to join the movement to take our nation back from these political cabals, from these political power brokers that have mortgaged the destiny of many people in this nation. It is time to take our nation back. Not later, but now. And we got to do it with every sense of urgency. My advice to Tinubu and Atiku is that they should just surrender now before it's too late, and they'll be in utter shame after having wasted people's time, wasted their own resources. Just join the movement now. It is too obvious. You can see many people in this nation are just sick and tired of bad governance, and they want to take their nation back. Don't pretend as if you can't see. I want to call upon those of you that collect money to go on the so-called Million Man March. Don't waste your energy. Don't waste your time. Join the Obidient team and become useful. The time is now.
This is what today is about, to raise that value of awareness. And so you can see the energy. The energy is saying no to rigging, no to election fraud, no to every bad thing, no to vote buying. This is what we are preaching and telling people. Regardless of your party, regardless of your candidate, we are saying that we want a new Nigeria. We want a Nigeria where NEPA will not take lives. We want a Nigeria where ASU will not keep our students. We want a Nigeria where government will negotiate with ASU, not with terrorists.
The Nigeria of our dream is only possible when you and I team up and make it happen. And I believe that is going to happen in this coming election. Well, you know, we don't have much time. I can go on and on and on. I still have many more broadcasts I will be sharing with you. And I want you to always check my channel. Even if you have watched some of the previous broadcasts, go back and rewatch them. You'll pick up something you never picked up before. Then share all those broadcasts with people, because not everybody has heard. And a lot of people have been pleading with me to translate to other languages. I want to encourage you out there. You want to do subtitles? Feel free, download the broadcast and put it in your own local language. I'll give you the liberty. Go ahead, translate it, share this broadcast with as many people as you can. By so doing, you will be helping to sensitize them concerning the state of the affairs of this nation and how we can bring about transformation and change and birth a new Nigeria of our dream that we'll be proud to call home. I also want you to subscribe to my channel, press the notification icon so that you'll be notified anytime I have another broadcast. Thank you very much for being part of today's broadcast. God bless you, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Bye-bye.